We've always had room in our hearts for film and TV, not just on Netflix, but tape and disc and theaters. And also, God forbid that they take it all away and leave us nothing to broadcast to loyal listeners. We'll binge watch every single movie, so you don't have to. What else are we here for? Coming to you every week. Listen to us while you're busy. Luckily, we forgot to grow up. Hey everybody, it's Craig.
Hey, it's Scott.
Hey, it's Andrew.
Welcome to episode number 42 of the Forgot to Grow Up podcast. For those of you paying attention, this podcast is basically the answer to the ultimate question. And we really missed the boat when we didn't decide to do the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy as episode number 42.
Son of a bitch.
That would have been such a good idea, but no, I thought about it 5 seconds before we started to record. On this week's episode of the Forgot to Go Up podcast, we are going to actually, you know what? I'm going to talk about the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. We're going to talk about musical movies, and I'm going to make a very watertight argument for why that's going to make my list. And then we're going to talk about what we watched this week. It's going to be
so long,
awesome.
thanks for all the fish.
Exactly. We're going to talk about penguins and tuxedos, and
bad poetry, which is technically a lot of songs.
Yeah. Especially musical songs. And we're going to talk about Dick Van Dyke. And I can say that here because we swear on our podcast. We have the explicit tag.
We do.
That's true, we do. The Bleep
do.
Van Bleep Show. Starring...
Yeah. Dick Van Dyke. So we're going to... Yeah, and then did I mention that we'll talk about what we watched this week? WWWTW? It's going to be great.
Well, you did now.
It's gonna be so much fun. Well, yeah. And if you know what? I'm going to blame it on the heat. It's warm here.
It is quite humid and disgusting out.
It is way too warm here, and I'm sure a couple of our listeners can appreciate that, whether you're on this side of the pond or on the other.
Or beneath it.
Yeah, well, if you're beneath the pond, the humidity is almost killing you.
Or it already did.
Well, hello, Titanic.
Ooh.
Yeah. Too soon?
Too soon.
The movie came out a few years ago, okay? Like, there's time.
Too soon.
All right. So, we never really discussed how we're going to do this. We sound so professional talking about show notes as we are going into the show.
Forward.
Yeah. That's really a hallmark of the Forgot to Grow Up podcast is our professional unprofessionalism.
Damn
Who
right.
wants to talk about musicals first?
Well, I'm going to ask you guys a question first.
All right.
Just to get the ball rolling. What are your guys' preferred types of musicals?
Ones that start
that's
in
a good
black and white
question.
and turn into color.
Oh, okay. So exclusively Mary Poppins or The Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
Okay, well, my favorite types are ones that like have songs from like actual artists that they incorporate into it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
No. That feels
You mean
cheating.
like mainstream music that they
Yeah,
squeeze?
exactly.
Okay.
Like songs that you can recognize, not
So
like
Rock of
necessarily-
Ages.
Yeah,
That
like Rock
feels
of
like
Ages.
cheating.
See,
Well-
you know what? I'm torn because I'm kind of on Scott's side. Like I love getting songs that like I've heard on the radio and get pumped.
Yeah,
like,
it's a little bit more easy to get into the movie.
Especially when it's Rock of Ages style.
Yeah, and you asked me what my preferred is. Like, I
That's
like
true.
both. I just,
That's true.
if I was going to make a musical,
That's
it
true.
would be a bunch of popular songs because I can't write songs. So.
And I would not
That's
watch
fair.
your musical.
Yeah, well, who would?
That's
I would.
fair.
I support you. I support
Well,
your dreams.
Thanks, Andrew. At least
No
somebody
problem.
does.
I'm part of your dream.
Well, yeah, somebody's
at
gonna
least
star in the
one type
musical
of dream. But see, I'm kind of torn because one of my favorite musicals was Beyond the Sea, which isn't really an actual musical per se. It's just a movie where they sing a lot of songs because it's about Bobby Darin, the singer / actor, and like his life.
Okay, yeah.
So it's just Kevin Spacey singing Bobby Darin songs because he's supposed to play Bobby Darin.
Okay.
So he sings a lot of the Bobby Darin songs while doing stuff. So I was like, this counts. He sings. But it's not really just a musical. You know what I mean? Like, they don't just sing for the sake of singing.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of
Like,
something we were
every
discussing
song gets
before, yeah.
shoehorned in there somehow.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what we were discussing before the podcast. Was like, what kind of deems it as a musical? Like, if you just sing in a movie, does that automatically classify it as a musical?
No.
Yeah. So, but I don't know where the line goes too, because it's like, how much singing do you have to have?
I feel like you have to have multiple songs. Like, it can't just be a movie of just like nothing, and then like one character just comes out and starts singing about Blue Jays.
So what about like Walk the Line? Like, so then like, are biopics like the exception then?
That's what I still consider that, because I got Beyond the Sea and then I got Ray as well, like the Ray Charles movie.
That would be the other one
because there's songs.
I could have done without the whole brother dying thing though.
So could he.
Well, I think that was just his life, I imagine.
It was
John
a
Mulaney
John
joke.
Mulaney joke.
Oh, okay.
And that's exactly how the joke goes.
He goes to see Ray on a date, and then he's like, "What'd you think of the movie?" I could have done without the whole brother dying thing.
Okay, fair enough. I don't quite have my John Mulaney stuff down pat yet.
One day you'll get it.
Maybe.
Peut-être. But yeah, so I've got on my list I've got Beyond the Sea and I've got Ray. So that's two right there that are just biopics that play lots of music. And there's lots of other ones, you know, you get well, I can't remember what it was called. The Doors one with Val Kilmer.
Yeah, I don't know what that's called, to be honest.
I can't remember what it's called.
There's
but
so
I know
many. Like, I was focusing mainly on like ones that were labeled more musicals as opposed to
to
well, I
biographies about
shoehorned those
musical
into my
people.
list.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Pardon?
But
Well, it's
I
just
didn't hear what you said, Craig.
a biography about people who were musicians seems like
yes.
a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
Well, I
just
shoehorned it
I'm
into
just
my
here
list.
to critique your musicals now. This is my
That's
job.
fair.
I'm just gonna
that's
hate
fair.
on all of it.
Okay, well, I'll hit you with my next one then. I got Rent.
No. I've never
Rent,
seen it, so I'm not gonna make
is
a comment.
Great. I love
Fair enough.
Rent.
I hated Rent for so many years. And then I went and I watched it again, and I loved Rent for so many years.
I hate Rent now.
For so many
but
years, I was in denial about my love of musicals, and I blame it on my high school girlfriend who made me watch a lot of them. And I think just out of just being me. I
Okay,
had to
what type
resist
of
that.
musicals did she make you watch, though?
Well, see, like we watched like Moulin Rouge, which I like actually now in hindsight. And
Was
Chicago.
that was Ewan
yeah,
McGregor
Ewan
in that?
McGregor's in
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
We watched that in high school, Andrew, by accident.
Actually, I never finished watching it.
Well, neither did I really, but
That's a shame.
I
like
consider it watched at this point because I didn't really enjoy it.
That's like Chocolat. It took me like 7 years to finally finish the movie Chocolat.
I still haven't seen it. I couldn't tell
Sounds
you
like
the plot
7
if I
pounds.
wanted to. I've seen it, but I couldn't tell
Johnny
you.
Depp's in it briefly.
That doesn't help me.
That's literally the only thing I know about Chocolat.
It has a
Chocolate.
French name that I can translate. It's amazing.
It's chocolate. And you have to say it that way. But, sorry, Scott, I cut you off. What type of musicals outside of Moulin Rouge?
Then like in Chicago.
Okay,
Things
well,
like
Chicago is one of the greatest musicals ever made.
Well, that's what
okay?
I mean. Like we watched a lot of good ones back then, and I think
And you
in
just
high
resented her
school-
slightly, so you...
Well, I think in high school I was a little too, trying to be all macho. We were football players,
Okay.
So I didn't want to admit that I liked
Speak for yourself.
musicals. Fair enough.
Trying to be
That was
macho or
me.
football players? Yeah, I was neither.
That's fair.
Both.
Again.
It's a weird little Venn diagram.
Okay, so I'm generally
Yeah, I
only
guess.
talking about myself among the three of us, but you know what I mean.
I was a football player, not trying to be macho.
Well, I'm not saying I was like trying. I'm just saying in hindsight, I imagine maybe that's why I had more resistance to it. Was maybe I was like, oh, I shouldn't like I shouldn't like musicals. I like football. Da da da. You know what I mean? And it's like now I'm just like, oh,
Okay.
that was probably just dumb because I like musicals. I enjoy.
You were just a
them.
chauvinist asshole.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Hey, lady. But I think from Rent, part of like the reason I love Joe West's character in The Flash is because of Rent, because he got the pipes, not even of gold. He's got sparkling Yukon Cornelius pipes. Okay, aka
Bumbles
a
Bounce?
la Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Bumbles bounce.
He's got those beautiful Yukon Cornelius silver and gold pipes. Which he wasn't the one who sang
No,
lots
it's the
with a beautiful
snowman
voice,
it's the
but
snowman that sings because
he was also a miner, okay? So he gets credit for it. I'm giving it to him.
he's got the black lung from South Jersey.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, his voice is amazing. The whole musical, like, I hated it for so long, but I just love it. I could watch it over and over again.
Yeah, no, I enjoy it too. I like the songs. That's what it's funny because I really like Rent, but all the songs are original to Rent, I believe,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
I think part of the reason I like the songs, like outside of the story, is like they all belt it. Like
Yeah,
there's no like, or there's a few songs where it's kind of like I'm gonna sing to myself, but most of them are like yeah,
they're like power ballads.
yeah. They're like I'm gonna kick
yeah.
this door in and sing to you. It's gotta be close to midnight. I love it, love it.
When I was prepping for this episode, I knew there was going to be a lot of singing involved in this episode.
That's why I'm drinking
I'm
tea,
gonna-
just in case.
Just in case you gotta break out in song.
You never know.
Fair enough.
No, it won't be me because that just is embarrassing.
I already sang once this episode,
That's maybe twice.
the intro. Yeah.
The intro.
I know
That's
I got
true.
that.
Once,
Nice.
once every episode.
Nice. But yeah, so outside of Rent, like most of my list actually consists, or not most, but a fair chunk of them consist of like older musicals. I got The Music Man.
Never
Yeah.
seen it.
That was
You
forced
you,
watching
you
in
have
high
s-
school-
you
in
haven't seen the
elementary school.
movie, but you've
Elementary
seen it
school.
on stage.
I have seen it on stage, yes.
Yes.
I've seen a few of these on stage. I just haven't seen them all as
On-
movies. I
I
wasn't sure
believe
if they're
Matthew
classifying
Broderick's
off-
in The Music Man,
Yes,
if I
he
remember
is.
correctly.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen
Ship
clips from
poopy,
it.
ship
on, like,
poopy,
seen
ship
it.
poopy.
Is that
The
game?
musical you gotta get.
Yeah. Yeah, no, still not
So
right.
moving on from that, I got a nice old one. Meet Me in St. Louis. That is a
I
real
know
old
the
one.
song, but I've never seen it.
And then I got Singin' in the Rain, which has a handful of fantastic songs.
Namely, Singing,
Singing
in the Rain.
right?
Yeah.
Namely Singin' in the Rain, yeah.
Yeah. Who?
Yeah, I've
who
never
would've
seen
thought?
the movie either.
I have. It's been a
I
long
believe
time. though.
I believe the song Good Morning's from that one.
I,
Don't quote me on it, but I
Might
believe
be.
it's from that
I'm
one.
gonna find out.
Good morning, good morning.
That sounds kind of right.
Listen to Forgot to Grow Up. Good morning to you.
Yeah, I can't help you with that. Again,
No.
I'm looking at
the
I'm
other
looking it
classic
up.
ones, I haven't gotten to that many of them, to be honest.
Fair enough. So, next up, and I feel like the only reason this is on my list is because I have to have it there,
It looks like
is
it was
Sweeney
in-
Todd.
Yeah, I figured you were gonna say that. I saw that on the list. So that's an Andrew.
And
one.
and I'll be honest, it's not even one of my favorite musicals. I like the story. I'm
The
not a
story's
fan of the
interesting.
music. The music aspect gets me.
Yeah, the music.
That's what I lose off of, but I like the
drab.
story.
Yeah, the story's really interesting, and I like it too. Like I remember when that came out, I watched it because I liked Johnny Depp at the time because that was back before he let Jack Sparrow get to him. He really let Jack Sparrow get.
Yeah, before he actually just became a loon.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I watched it way back when it first came out, and I really enjoyed like the story. I think it's the craziness to it, and the fact that I believe it's based off of maybe a real story or something like that, like a real rumor. I'm
Probably.
not sure about that exactly, but
Probably. I mean, there's
Like a
probably
folklore or
tons
something?
of barbers out there who killed people.
and turned them into meat pies. Like it's like the business acumen to it made a lot of sense to me too.
Yeah,
It was-
like it's
was smart.
especially if it's an old dude just getting ready to pass on. You're like, cool. I'm gonna save this family tons of money on a funeral or cremation costs, and I'm also going to make a couple bucks for myself.
Yeah. And you have a successful meat pie shop. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly what that'd be called. Is it a bakery? Would it be a bakery?
I feel like it would be some type. I don't know. I feel like it would just be like a hot oven shop. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how it works.
I could
Not
not honestly
important.
tell you. I could not honestly tell you. However, next up, I just got to give hardcore shout-outs because there's a ton of them on that go into this guy. And he was a slight cast member of Toast of London, briefly. it wasn't actually him, but Andrew Lloyd Webber, because he got a ton of musicals that were turned into movies.
Okay.
Okay, we got Cats,
Okay.
which I'm pretty sure I'm the only person in the world who likes Cats. The
Cats
only
scared
person.
me when I was younger.
You might be the only person who likes it unironically.
That's fair. That's fair. You mean I'm not hipster enough to like Cats?
No, you don't like it in a hipster way.
Oh, okay.
Where,
Gotcha.
like, if
No, I
you're-
don't. I just
yeah.
genuinely like it because the music is catchy as all balls.
Exactly. Whereas
All
most
balls,
people like it in
footballs,
an ironic
baseballs.
Yeah,
kind of
most
way.
people are like, haha, wouldn't it be great if we went and saw Cats right now? And you're like,
And I'd be like,
yeah,
I'd be
man, it would be
like-
awesome. And everybody else is like, we didn't. Your enthusiasm's a little much.
I'm like, yeah, let's go see Cats right now. Mr. Mistopheles is waiting.
No, I just remember my mom watched this like when I was younger, and I remember seeing some of it, and it scared me, to be honest. Like, the cat people freaked me out. Like, we had a lot of cats growing up, and
Join
I don't
the
know
club,
what
man.
it was about them. It was a little too like uncanny valley, I guess. Even though it was all makeup, it messed with my head. I didn't like it.
Okay, I forget what I watched. I watched something a while back where just like the facial gestures and like the actions that the actor was using, I was like, holy shit, that's just like the Rum Tugger from Cats the Musical. And the person I was watching it with was like, are you friggin'
Right.
stupid? And I was like, shut up. Look, watch this. The same, I believe it was another musical that's on my list now that I think of it. Actually, never mind. It's not on my list. It didn't make it there. It was Rocky Horror Picture Show. It
Oh, that's on my list.
It somehow did not make it to my list. I don't know how I forgot about it.
That's a shame. That's a great movie.
I love Meatloaf, so and actually I really enjoy that movie. So I don't know why it's not on my
Yeah,
list.
It is just the weirdest kind of like, it's my favorite kind of weird movie in a sense, like a type of weird movie. I mean, it's not my favorite movie
Yeah.
in any sense, but like I like that type of weirdness to it, where it's just like, no, this is just straight out of left field. You can't really see a lot of it coming, and then it's intermixed with really catchy music. Let's do the time warp. Come on. I'm not singing. I told you guys.
Jump to the left,
And a kick to the right.
and then you step to the right. Put your hands on your hips.
Bend your knees in time.
Do the pelvic thrust.
It really drives you insane.
Let's
do the
that
time warp again. Anyways, it was definitely Tim Curry, like his facial mannerisms and like the way he
Yeah, I can see
moved
that.
throughout it just reminded me of one of the characters in Cats, like the whole time. It got me pumped to watch Cats after it. But so
Don't leave us
what,
hanging. Did
feature.
you watch it?
what was that?
Don't leave us hanging. Did you watch it after?
Cats?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
dude, I watch it at least twice a year
Okay. I'm just making sure.
because I love Cats. But what else do I have here? I got Robin and the Seven Hoods. That was one of my older ones that I didn't mention.
I don't.
That was a Rat Pack movie. Which
Explains
okay.
why I
Yeah, I
haven't seen
definitely
it.
have not seen that.
Yep.
no, it's I have it on DVD if you want to borrow it. You can take it from my library.
Can
discuss
we
that
just set up
next
a
time I visit.
webcam and you watch it and we watch you watch it?
So wait, so you guys are gonna watch me?
Oh, yeah.
That can be the live stream for our YouTube channel.
Problem solved.
Technically, we're not showing any
No.
proprietary
We'll
content.
mount the webcam. We'll just put your webcam like you watch it on your laptop, and then we'll watch you.
So
watch
it'll
the
be like
movie.
this right now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, it's
Did you guys see that?
all right. If
Oh
you
my
slip
god, this
the-
is so good.
If you slip the DVD into your DVD player right now, let's begin. Our time is at 0000.
But
You have to watch it with
sorry, I
headphones
got-
in too, because you can't have the audio on the recording.
That's true. That's true. But I've also got Dreamgirls and Jersey Boys on my list. Two movies that are based off of previously existing groups, but that are actual musicals.
Yeah, I have
There are-
not seen either of those.
Neither
yet
have I,
either.
but it
Really?
sounds like a gray area for me.
I've heard that both of them are very good too, and I've been meaning to get to them. I'm so bad at getting to certain movies. Like,
No,
these
not
movies
you,
ones-
Scott.
Yeah. I know it's a
Don't
shock,
lie.
guys.
Don't lie to our listeners.
I know.
But they're both like almost biopics, but they're not. They're like a musical about, as opposed to a story with music. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's not as much like, because I think like where a little bit the difference you can draw is I imagine that they have a few more scenes where it's not just them performing and that's the only time music is involved.
Yeah.
Like they have a few like,
there's
solo
a couple
ones in like a dressing room or something like that. And I think that's where the gray line of like we're not
that's where
like musical,
that's where I draw my line.
Biopic. Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, if they're just performing, then you can classify anything that had like a concert in the background, whereas if it's a little bit more like part of the story involves singing, then I think it's a little different. This is really hard to like put into words now that I'm just trying to say it. Anyways, Andrew, what's next on your list? Let's figure out saying anything.
Next up on my list, I got the Blues Brothers and the Blues Brothers 2000.
Yes, the best musicals ever, I think, potentially.
Potentially, like they're probably the most fun.
I agree with. Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it. They are the most fun because they're an action film. That's a musical. That's
it.
And it's like that's the best thing about this one too, because it has the mix of the both, right? It has the but it also
play
fits
music.
The story. Yeah, they
stop to play music, but there's also a couple scenes where where Aretha Franklin just sings at you in both movies.
And like all the diner dancers just start dancing along with it. Like, that's a musical.
They just get up and dance with it.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
even in the second one, in Blues Brothers 2000, they're at I forget what type of dealership it is.
I think it's a car dealership.
It's a car dealership of some sort.
Yeah.
And she comes back from lunch with her two friends who are also the same women from the first one, which is pretty cool.
But I like that they're doing so much better for themselves now. That's the best part about like.
They sold a chicken diner, a fried chicken diner, and they opened up this fantastic like Mercedes dealership.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm proud of you guys. Good for you.
Yeah, and they even keep on, Blue Lou Marini, even though he hasn't sold a car in like 2 years. And then Matt Guitar Murphy's like, I know, baby.
I know.
But and they just start singing and they dance, and then the kid gets involved, and they just have dance moves across. Like, I feel like that's a good way to dictate if it's a musical or if it's just a movie with music, and that's if they do weird shit to squeeze it in.
Yeah, I agree. Like those little like when it gets choreographed, like when you end up having like random people involved in the choreographed like dancing or like the song number, it's like, oh no, this is musical territory, because like you don't see that in like Walk the Line.
And if it wouldn't happen in real life, then
you might see it in Dewey
musical.
Cox.
Again, another one I haven't seen.
That's Walk Hard. Sorry.
Oh, okay, yes.
Walk Hard, the Walk the Line ripoff with John C. Reilly. But was it 6376?
6379?
6375 or something like that?
I can never remember the exact.
No, never mind. I'm mixing them up because there is the song on the radio, the actual song, and then this one in the movie.
Yeah.
It's the phone number for Wilson Pickett.
5309 is the name of the
song.
Two-tone song.
I can't remember the name of the other one.
Blues Brothers one?
Yeah.
Like I said, like that was just hard to remember.
3, 6, 4, 5.
I think that was part of the
yeah.
fun,
3,
right?
3, 6, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. I think 3, 6, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. That seems right to me.
I'm gonna look it up.
6, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. That seems right, anyways. But then you got Ed and you got Wilson Pickett singing along, and they're just walking along tables, and then you get all the phone sex girls who are just doing their thing. And it's just so good. It's catchy. There's nothing wrong with either of those movies.
6345789.
6345789.
Yep.
Isn't that what I said?
I think that's.
I can't remember. I'm
pretty sure.
We'll double check later. But anyways, that's the song.
That's
the song, and it was catchy. One. And I like that the first one they start off and with the late great John Belushi.
Yeah.
Where he was the lead singer, and he was just a dick, but in a good way. And then you move on to the next one, and he's passed on, and everyone just says, "Sorry about your loss, Elwood." Yeah. And you just acknowledge that he's clearly dead in this universe as well. Mm-hmm. And then his whole mission is to keep bringing in other people to keep the band going, and you bring in John Goodman, which is fantastic.
Great.
And then I forget his name, but he goes. I want to say it's like Cab Calloway or something. But you bring in the guy who plays Silas Stone in Justice League.
Oh, as yeah, I think I know what you're saying. I
can't remember his name as an actor.
Since I've watched this.
He's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
but I think he was in like Terminator 2 actually.
Yeah.
But you bring him in, and he's a singer, and you're like, what? And you just enjoy the crap out of that movie.
Is it the first or second one that has? That's the second one where they do like the Ghost Riders in the Sky thing, where they're at like the.
That's festival? The second one, yeah. When they're at the Bluegrass.
The kids, I love that scene.
Because they're like, it's a bluegrass festival, and then Junkman's like, bluegrass, riders.
Which
you actually get to.
Yeah, exactly. I like that they switch it up in that way. Like you get a bunch
of
different
they
styles.
Play music that actually like controls the weather.
Yeah, which is.
But then they also have like real live music just to go overboard even more, and then you get some crazy white supremacists who aren't like the white supremacists from the first one. These are like separatist white supremacists who have like a boat full of bombs, and they blow shit up, and apparently the cop car is remote control, like a Hot Wheels toy, and it can also go underwater, and it's airtight, and it's just so much ridiculousness into like that they forced in. It was just great to watch as a kid, but even better to watch as an adult.
Yeah, because you get a little bit more of the story beats as an adult too, and you just kind of appreciate that. Whereas as a kid, you're just like, just enjoying it. You're like,
Latara's boobs, yeah. And you bring in Erykah Badu at the end. I think it was Erykah Badu at the end, if I remember correctly.
I
can't remember. It was someone. Anyways, it was one of the big artists from the from back in the day who came in, and she plays the Mississippi Witch Queen.
Yeah.
But do you want me to continue my list and just end it?
Might as well.
Yeah, go ahead. That way I can take them off my list.
The Chipmunks Adventure, which I've mentioned many times before, and I will continue mentioning until the end of my life, because I love that movie.
I don't remember you ever mentioning it ever before.
Yeah, me neither.
What? No, I have definitely mentioned it many times, because it's the one that I listened to at my cottage as a kid, and I used to sing songs from it about getting lucky, because it was a catchy song, and it turned out that it was actually a song about getting lucky that was in a kid's movie. I've definitely talked about that on the podcast.
Okay. Well, if anybody
it
else
might have been episode
that,
1, but I talked about it.
That's fair.
That's
fair.
A long time ago.
That's a very long time ago. Galaxy far, far away.
So I mentioned Ray.
Yep.
At the top, so we're going to scratch that. I'm going to leave that one for you. I'm going to leave that one for you. I'm going to mention Chicago, which you already mentioned and I talked about briefly, and I loved it.
Yeah, Chicago's great. I like the story in Chicago more than anything, really, too. Like the songs obviously are great in it too, but I find the story just fascinating. I don't know why. That's the part I like about it.
See, I'm not a huge fan of Renee Zellweger, but something about her in this movie in particular, it worked for me.
Yeah, no, I always forget it's even her, to be honest. In my mind, it's somebody else. I flashed to I'm so bad with names, and we're just gonna move on.
You flash to what? Describe what you're flashing to. Not what.
Just the co-star.
Oh, Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Thank you. Yes, I was just blanking on her name.
Just because she's amazing in all musicals, which is my segue towards your list, Scott.
Okay, well, obviously we already talked Chicago. I mentioned Moulin Rouge before. I like that mainly because of my man Ewan McGregor. And it's got a few, it's got a mix of like what's it called? Like original songs from like for it and pop culture. Like,
is that the movie that has like the Pink, Christina Aguilera, Maya, and Lil' Kim song in it?
I don't know if it's in it. I think that's just
made
was
for it.
Associated with it. Yes.
I think Missy Elliott produced it.
I believe so too. Yeah, no, I
don't
think
that
it's
matters.
Actually in it.
I
think it's just. I think they just say
maybe just a promo
Moulin
song.
Rouge, right? Like I think they maybe like say that, but they don't, I don't think they feature the song. I don't know. I haven't watched it in like a decade, to be honest.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I still like it just because it's like I said, I like that mix of the two, and the story is kind of interesting. You know, this Ewan McGregor's character just shows up in I believe it's Paris. You know, having dreams of being a writer, and falls in love. It's a little sappy, but it's kind of that's what a musical's about sometimes. Being a little
Aren't
sappy.
most movies somehow about falling in love?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Not the ones I like.
I'm pretty sure even Infinity War is about falling in love.
Yeah, Thanos falling in love with World Order.
Yeah,
genocide.
that's love.
Yeah, no.
Technically, random.
It's the love I'm looking for. Anyways, let's move on to other things on my list.
Anyways.
Well, we did this episode because of the new Mamma Mia movie, which I liked the original. I wouldn't say
Honestly, I've never seen it.
Really?
To be honest, yep.
Neither.
I was never a monstrous fan of ABBA.
See, and I know ABBA because my parents had an ABBA CD, like the greatest hits growing up. So I just like it because of that mainly. And then it has, Pierce Brosnan attempting to sing, and I feel for him because he's better than me, but he's not great at it. And then you got like Colin Firth and
love Colin Firth.
Skarsgård. I never remember which one it is. Is it Bill?
Bill? I think it's Bill.
It's the one that's in the Thor movies.
Yeah, it's the dad.
Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure. I just always mix
Bill
up all their
Skarsgård.
names, to be honest. Like, I don't even remember half their names.
Eric Selvig.
Yeah, Eric, exactly, him. So, you got all them, and then, yeah, it's mainly because I know a lot of the songs, because my parents, which is their fault. But I always get Mamma Mia stuck in my head every once in a while.
Stop it. Stop saying it.
Mamma Mia. Here we go again.
No.
Podcast.
That was good.
On to the next thing. I wrote down both the Grease movies because those were probably one of the first classic musicals I remember seeing.
They were on my list
Barf.
too.
Barf.
What's your problem with Grease?
Oh, they're
Grease lightning. Go.
I think
Grease
honestly,
lightning.
I'm like kind of go that hipster mentality about this. Like, if you talk about it, I hate it because I'm just.
And yet, Chicago is one of your favorite.
I love Chicago. Go Bears. The Bears. But I don't know, just Grease. Like, I just never liked it. I think it was as a kid I didn't like it, and I feel like it just got overhyped and overhyped and overhyped to the fact that like it's just ugh. I just never conformed to that part of reality.
That's fair. I can't even defend it that much. Besides, I just remember watching it when I was younger, and I don't mind
it. I think it was just one of those big movies that went like Napoleon Dynamite style, where people just were afraid to say it wasn't good. But it wasn't good.
But that's not why I would ever, say I liked a movie. To be honest,
Grease is much better than Napoleon Dynamite.
I think there's a chance I might like Grease if it was like an on stage production. I might appreciate it more. But
that's
just
possible.
The movie version, like,
that's what I was gonna say. It's got like for my list, I wrote down any musical where I remember at least one or two songs from, because that's a good musical to me. Is if I can pick out one or two. And Grease has a few songs that I'm like, okay, yeah, I like those songs outside of the context of the movie itself. So that's what my list was. So like Grease. Grease has got that Grease Lightning one, which I like because it's got a car. I like that
Grease Lightning.
They make fun of it on Home Improvement. That was a fun little gag. I don't remember if you remember that episode.
I don't. Oh no, Scott. Maybe you just need to shape up.
Possibly.
That was a
pun.
I
didn't know what the next line was.
That was a Grease pun. Oh.
I know. I didn't know what the next line was.
I wasn't sure you got it.
Do you need a man, Andrew? Is that what you're trying to say?
I didn't want to just be dead space, but I'm like,
I don't need a man, by the way.
No?
I got you guys.
That's fair.
Well, I got Scott trying to be macho and not like musicals, so.
That was high school Scott. There's a difference. He was a lot
we were different people. So what else is on your list, Scott?
We already talked about Rocky Horror Picture Show, which was next. We kind of mentioned
Meatloaf.
Rock of Ages. But I love Rock of Ages.
That's the one I was trying to segue to you with by talking about Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I thought you were going to take it and run with it.
I thought you were trying to push me towards... Is she in Burlesque or Nine?
Is she? No.
I thought she was in one of those ones, and that's what you were referring
What's
to,
9?
Not Rock of Ages. I forgot she was in Rock of Ages.
Isn't
There's
Burlesque
so many
Cher?
big celebrities in Rock of Ages. There's a movie
That's
called
true.
Burlesque. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure. I remember
that's
seeing that
Cher.
when I was. Yeah. Well,
Cher
I
and
thought she was one of the
Christina
backup
Aguilera.
ones. We'll see.
Maybe,
This is
I
the
don't know.
thing. I don't know these things that much. Like I said,
I watched
just
it
made an
once on an
assumption.
airplane.
The point was Rock of Ages. I love Rock of Ages. I feel like
So
Rock of
good.
Ages was made for like us back in high school, just because.
Well, for sure.
It was
I
all
saw it in
songs I
every
loved.
theater multiple
Yeah.
times in Niagara.
And I saw it at least 2 or 3 times with you. I know at least I saw it more than once at least, because that was one of the first movies I went.
Do
and
you
saw
remember
multiple
when we
times.
saw it the first time at the Seaway Mall
Yes.
with Steve and his mom, and she
was-
brought the little battery
yeah,
operated
the little
candles.
light up candle.
And yes.
so she didn't have because you can't have a lighter.
Couldn't use the lighter.
Because she knew, because it's based on an actual musical, right? Like that's one thing.
Yeah,
I was not
yeah,
sure
yeah.
about. Yeah, so like,
Yeah.
yeah, she already, I think obviously already knew the musical, whereas I did not. So I was
No.
just fell in love with Tom Cruise and his rock star ways.
Oh, he was so good in that movie. Like most of his movies, but he was so good in that movie.
Oh yeah, and I like that.
I
'cause
don't even like Julianne Hough. I don't like her. But you know what? I liked her in this movie. Mary J. Blige, loved her in this movie.
Yeah, she did a great job in this. There's so many like great like appearances and performances in this one that it's hard not to like. I gotta
No.
rewatch it to be honest. But I listened to, this is one of those ones I listened to the like soundtrack from it all the time.
Okay. Because it's so good. And
Yeah.
their versions of the songs are amazing.
Yeah, and I like a couple of them. They mash up a couple rock songs, and I like that kind of like I'm a big
Oh my
fan
god.
of mashups.
The
so it's
the
like,
we're not gonna take it. We built
Yeah.
this city mashup.
Oh my
That's one of my
gosh.
favorite.
So good.
No!
Yes.
No! I've never seen the
That's-
movie. That sounds awful.
Oh, it's so
great.
good.
It's great.
It's like we
It
built
depends on your
this.
opinion on mashups, I think, is what it comes
I
down
love
to. Like,
mashups. I don't like We're Not Gonna Take It. And I really don't like We Built This City.
Why? It's the best rock and roll of all time.
See, I feel like Craig has like
station
something
lies.
against like the really like I don't know what the right word for it is, but like corny
Pompous?
rock songs, like the ones that like
Yeah.
everyone loves because they're just really easy to sing
Man,
along
I saw
to,
Def
and-
Leppard 4 times in the concert.
Fair enough. Okay, that's a
the
retraction to that
concert.
statement now. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, 'cause every one of theirs is exact.
Exactly.
I don't know,
I have
but-
no issue with most corny rock songs. Those two in particular.
Okay,
I am
fair.
not
I
a
can
huge
see why
fan
you'd have
of.
a problem with those two in particular too.
Craig, let me paint you the picture, and I implore you to at least listen to the song or watch the YouTube video once. Okay, so you get Russell Brand.
Yeah.
Hopefully I didn't lose you at that
It's too
point.
late, man. You
Hopefully I didn't
started to
lose
say
you.
his name, and that
You
was
should have
it.
started with it's bold. It's
Alec Baldwin. I looked up
Right?
the
Alec
cast
Baldwin,
list.
he's not in that scene though.
That's not the scene. I got that mixed up with their love scene. I'm sorry.
Okay, which is phenomenal.
It's,
Where they
it's
come out
another
of the
great. I
closet
think that's
together.
another great mashup too. I believe.
Is it? I don't know. It's amazing.
Either that or a
anyways.
duet.
But
one or the other.
but this We Built This City, Not Gonna Take It mashup. It happens. They're on the street, and Catherine Zeta-Jones has her mom's club, who are trying to get this club to just shut down because rock and roll music is the devil's work and it's ruining children. But then you get this rock club with all these hardcore rockers, and you got the REO Speedwagon lead singer right in the background. You can look right at his beautiful face wearing an REO Speedwagon shirt. Okay. Russell Brand, he comes up and he's just like, you're not going to tear this down. We built this city. And then Will Forte is just like running back and forth with this mic from us. Yeah, Will Forte. He's got the mic and he's like, "Hey, can you sing this, Russell Brand?" And he runs back over and he's like, "Hey, can you sing this, Catherine Zeta-Jones?" And it's literally just the two groups singing one song at each other, like, we built this city over here with Russell Brand, and we're not going to take it with Catherine Zeta-Jones, and just mashes into pure heavenly gold.
I feel like I've seen that scene. I haven't seen
Because it's
the movie,
amazing.
but I'm pretty sure I've seen that. Like, that almost seems like that's what they wrote the whole musical for. Just so that they could do that one bit.
Worth it.
yeah, no,
Man.
I was like, well, Craig, every story's got to start somewhere.
Like,
You gotta start with a seed and grow from that point, okay? Sometimes you start with just one song and you move from there. and you mash up a bunch of other rock songs. You know,
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure it starts
there's
off
a
with
story
one,
in
doesn't
there,
it?
too.
It starts off with the Gigolo. I can't remember what his name is. The lead singer, the first lead singer from Van Halen.
Yeah, oh my God, why are you gonna do this to me now? David Lee Roth.
That's the guy, the Gigolo.
Yeah, the Gigolo. Yes, I like that song.
But you
Weirdly
start
enough.
off with one of his songs, and it's I can't remember. Oh, was it Sister Christian? Was that the mashup?
Yeah.
Yeah, it starts
Night
with Sister
Ranger?
Christian, and then it goes into one of the Gigolo songs, and it's just amazing
Where can I find this movie?
everywhere because you need to watch
It
it.
might be still on Netflix. I can't remember.
No, they took it off Netflix.
Okay.
Might be on Prime though.
Potentially.
No, it's not on Prime because you know what, Scott? We talked about this a while ago.
Did we? I feel like
Yeah,
that
because
sounds
you're like,
right.
I want to buy it at Giant Tiger if I can find it.
That sounds accurate.
That's how it
I have
went.
to write that down. I always forget which ones that I'm like, am I gonna buy that on Amazon or at Giant Tiger? Damn it, I have to write more of these down.
Damn it. But anyways, back to your movie list.
Yes.
Snap back to reality.
Yes. So another one along the same lines of Rock of Ages is the Across the Universe musical, which is Beatles songs.
The Beatles. The
And-
only song or the only scene I really appreciate from that one is the one where they show the riot and they've got the black boy singing and then he dies and then I get super bummed out.
Yeah, I believe that's Let It Be.
Let it be, man.
Yeah.
It's just super depressing because he dies and you watch his funeral and you're like, I thought the world had an agreement that we just don't kill kids and stuff because it makes me want to cry.
Yeah, but other than that, the movies. I like the movie. Like I like the way they incorporate the different Beatles songs into it, and I just like how I kind of like the story, the interesting tale of these teenagers.
The
running off to
hipster or not the hipper, the hippie Vietnam crowd.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought it was an interesting kind of take on it, and kind of suiting with the Beatles songs, and yeah, I just like it. Like again, a lot of these are just
It
because I
kind of
know
went
the
with their
songs.
lifestyle, kind of like Rent was just super bohemian and grimy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like it was kind of along the same lines like that, just with more specific songs.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why I like it. It's just I remember that was one of the first ones that because I believe this came out I think this came out before Rock of Ages.
Yeah,
And
a couple years before.
Yeah, and I think it was one of the first ones where I was like started being like more open to musicals then because I was like,
Okay.
oh, the musicals can have songs I know in them. Cool,
Awesome.
awesome. Where's my AC/DC musical? Still
May that
waiting on
never
that.
happen.
Craig, you say that, and now I have to write it because I've considered writing it. I've
All right.
done it in my head 3 times.
Okay.
Scott,
What
if
would the
you
name of
write-
that movie
yeah,
be?
Yeah.
You shook me all night
it would
long.
have to be one. What was it?
You shook me all night long.
It's an erotica.
Thunderstruck sounds better to me.
That can work too.
See, these
we'll-
are both
Rock and
porn
Roll
films.
Train.
What are you
crowd
guys doing?
Well, like what's it called?
What?
Well,
Stop! They're
focus
all
group it.
porn titles. Stop it.
Rock and Roll Train.
Yes.
How is that?
Kid.
How is that a porn title?
I'm not going. We're not that explicit here, guys. If you,
Oh,
if-
like Rock and Roll Train to me, it just sounds like we were we started off as this power ballad rock and roll band, and we went to the ups and downs along that train ride.
if
Well,
you,
see, you guys think
yeah.
that's not a like AC/DC biopic. I'm saying like a
Yeah,
across
no,
the
musical
universe
with it.
style where
Gotcha,
you integrate
gotcha.
AC/DC songs into the story. Where it's things like that. Which is why it'd be called "You Shook Me All Night Long" because it'd be a love story, and bam, we go from there. Thought
I
this
still think
through.
Thunder. Okay,
And
you
it's
can
still
have
my-
that, and
it's
then
my
the
favorite
biopic will
AC/DC
be.
song too. Okay, that's the
There
only
we go.
reason.
Okay, Thunderstruck can be the biopic name.
Yes,
Gotcha.
or the sequel. Either one. We'll work on it.
Boom.
Where they're getting married. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Thunderstruck.
shit.
It's about like the honeymoon phase. Damn.
Yes.
I'm putting this
What-
trilogy of movies together. That's right.
The
There's a third
post
one.
honeymoon phase when they get to the real life and the honeymoon phase is over.
Yeah. So like in between
Where,
the
like,
two
real
movies
life
was
hits
their
them.
was their
Yeah.
honeymoon and their wedding, and then it picks up in the Thunderstruck phase where it's like, oh, life hits you.
Life hits, you gotta pay bills.
Exactly.
Love doesn't pay the bills.
And then
I would watch those movies. I would produce like 14 cents towards those movies.
Ooh, I'll bump
I'm
it up
glad
to a
I can
nickel.
get a paper clip to like put the papers together than have the
There we
script.
go. I would cash out my TFSAs for this. Yeah, I'm committed.
Okay. Anyways, we'll just
What else is on your
on.
list?
Yeah. So I have The Labyrinth, which I like because it's got David Bowie in it. And
Okay.
I like Dance Magic Dance. That's a great song.
That is just such a strange movie.
It is super strange. There's a scene in it that still to this day freaks me out. Like, I can remember when I first saw it as a child, and I was slightly scarred by it because I had to leave the room. It's these puppet things in it. See, I might be getting this movie mixed up with Dark Crystal, where the puppets are from, though. No, it's definitely Labyrinth. Yeah, no, because she's in the swamp, and there's these weird things, and they got way too long arms, and they're doing the thing I like to call the Steve, and it's too much.
Okay, I see what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah, and it messed with me as a kid, and to this day I still can't watch it because it'll mess me a little bit. I have to fast forward past that scene. But other than that, I love The Labyrinth. I like that kind of story of like a lot of these musicals that I like tend to have a decent story to them in a sense. And this one, I like the idea of this, sister who was like tired of having to babysit, and then probably has a delusional dream, but that's how musicals happen sometimes. And
You gotta do what you
that's
gotta
how
do.
she ends up in this, David Bowie goblin worldscape labyrinth, and I like it. It's got some catchy songs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I give it to you.
Next on the list is Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
Because it's a pick of Destiny, child. You know we will be rocking because it's fucking insane. So good.
And again, this one's just Jack Black being, I feel, the most Jack Black can be. I feel like this is what he aspired to always doing. Like, that's why he became like an actor, and that is he wanted to be able to be famous enough to do Tenacious D and actually have it like be successful.
As opposed to just being a little
Well, if you
side project.
if you just tried to start niche and grow from there, it wouldn't have worked. I feel like it would take him a lot longer. Where he's a little bit more like inserted himself into main culture, and then it's like, bam, Tenacious D. And I thought he did a great job with it.
And then he fell off for a while, and I was back.
Yeah,
He's back.
He's back. And hey, wait, did you finish Joel McHale?
Back in black.
Did you finish Joel McHale yet, Andrew?
I have not.
Damn it, he's in the last episode.
Son of the bitch.
And you would see that he's
I
back
already
to
told
form.
you
That's all I'm
that.
going to say. Yeah,
I
I
know,
know.
but
We
I
both now
forgot.
mentioned this, but it was last week.
forgot.
Anyways, we'll see if he's gotten to it by next week.
I'll get to it by the end of the month, I promise. okay?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not going to get to it by
Actually,
next week?
month. I'll get
Come
to it
on,
by-
man. You got a whole week.
I'll get to it by August. I swear to God, by August I'll get to it.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't have that much left on my list after Tenacious D. I do have one that I was like, does this really count? I saw it on the list. I wasn't really sure, and it's the original Willy Wonka. And I'm like, yeah, it's got a bunch of musical scenes, I guess. But I haven't seen it in so long, I couldn't remember exactly how many of them there were besides just the Oompa Loompas. And I'm like, does that
There's a
count?
couple
one
because
from
he
me,
does the
because-
weird bit in the tunnel.
Is that music? Is that
He
is that-
does-
Like, I
That's
remember that
touchy
sings.
for
scene.
me because
He
it's
sings.
kind of like I wouldn't consider Pinocchio a musical, even though it's got like "Will You Wish Upon a Star" and a couple other songs in it. So like, but
Yeah,
at the
that's
same
why I
time,
was like, I
it
wasn't
technically
sure.
does fit the mold of a story that has songs in it.
Yeah, because like at the beginning with like the family singing to each other, like that's
There is
Very
a
musical.
musical. There is a musical
guess.
called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Whether it was adapted to film or not is up for debate. Let me see.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is a batshit crazy movie, though. Didn't like that one.
wait.
That's the one with Johnny Depp.
No,
I think that's Charlie.
Willy
in the
Wonka.
71's
Willy Wonka
Willy.
and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is a 1971 American musical fantasy family film. Wow, that's a blah, blah, blah.
Mouthful.
It's a mouthful.
So it's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. That's
It's the
super
Johnny Depp
creepy.
one,
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
but the film is
That
called
was super
Charlie. Or not
diddles.
oh my god, I can't talk
book is
anymore.
Charlie
The
and the
book
Chocolate
is called
Factory.
Charlie and the
Words.
Chocolate Factory.
Words.
But yeah, I guess it is like especially the 71 one is the musical because I believe
It is a musical.
all those are
according to
original
IMDb.
songs to it.
Yeah.
Whereas the newer one I think took all the songs from the book, I believe. If I
The
remember
newer one is
doing
just
that.
super diddles.
It
Super
really is.
I've
Jill.
never
Like,
seen it, and I'm not going to because I
Don't, man.
I really
you don't
like
need to.
weird.
You really don't.
I like the old one.
That's the movie that made me start to fall off Johnny Depp. That's when I started questioning.
He
him.
hit,
Like,
he
I
hit a
think you're
point
going
of
too
just
far,
being
man.
weird.
Yeah. I was like, I think you might be going too far with this. And then he hit Alice in Wonderland, and I was still questioning it, but that was part of that character. And I'm like,
I don't know.
now he's gone.
And then he became Tonto in
I
The
saw
Lone
it,
Ranger,
seen that.
which seems vaguely
yeah.
inappropriate.
I was gonna
I
say, are
agree,
you gonna
very
say
inappropriate.
racist? Because it's incredibly.
Yes.
The fact that was made sometime in the last few years is even worse.
I'm not going to pretend to know whether or not he has some type of Aborigines background, but it just seems extremely risque.
Let me
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
Let's
like I
find
said,
out.
I've never even seen the movie.
Like, if he's like 2% Cree or like 2% Ojibwe or something, I'll let it be. But if not,
I
Why
believe he's
is
just French.
the
like,
the
half
top
French.
hit the top hit on Google when you look up Johnny Depp is why is Johnny Depp still employed?
is there an answer? Is it because
It looks
Helena
like a
Bonham
video, and I
Carter's
can't be bothered
ex-husband
to-
is still making movies?
It looks like there's a video and I can't be bothered to watch the video.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm busy. Oh, I forgot he was in Black Mass. I liked that movie. I'm now see. I don't actually know what Johnny Depp looks like. Like, I can't be the only person who doesn't have like when you say Johnny Depp.
Like,
I
when you
can't-
think of his-
like
his
I
face.
can't actually
That's
see what
fair.
he looks like
I
because
can't really
I
picture that without the dreads.
yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
okay.
That's pretty
That's
much
what
as
I
close.
picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack Sparrow is the closest I can get to like picturing what Johnny Depp looks like in my head because he looks different in everything.
Yeah, and I
Probably.
can't hate him on that because you could describe my Instagram feed that similar way sometimes. Go from having my homeless beard to just not.
Yeah, but I know what
I change
Scott
my
looks
beard up
like.
at least every 2 months.
If I think
Yeah.
about Scott in my head, I know what Scott looks like, but I don't know what Johnny Depp looks like because I've only ever seen him in movies, never in real life.
You can blame
That's
Tim
fair.
Burton for that.
Tim Burton's a
Because
bastard.
Tim Burton believes in drowning sons of bitches in makeup. Drowning them.
Yeah.
And he's in
It's
like
all off-putting
97% of Tim Burton movies.
Yeah. But anyways, we weren't talking.
Anyways.
We're not talking about them.
No,
but yeah,
not
that
this
was
time.
one. The last one on my list is just Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. So I remember that when I was
Yes.
from younger.
Yeah.
We Love
I just
You.
like that song. Yeah.
I've totally forgot about that movie. Man, there's a few. I forgot about that one. I
Dead
forgot
Dogs.
about the Muppets. The Muppets Most Wanted.
There's all the Muppets.
The
movies.
Brave Little Toaster. How did I forget about the Brave Little Toaster?
Is that a musical?
Yeah, there's a couple songs they sing.
I guess it is.
Oh, man.
I feel like
There's
we
too
should
many
just do an
musicals.
animated one at some other point because I don't think we're talking
Yes.
about any animated musicals today.
Absolutely.
Most of them are
I
Disney.
have one
but-
on my list because it's not Disney, and that was our criteria.
What is it? Hit us with it.
It is An American Tail and An American Tail 5 Goes West.
Is that the one with the
Five-O?
dogs?
That's the one with the mice, and they sing "There's no cats in America."
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I haven't seen.
And
that
the
since
streets
I
are
was
paved
a
with
kid.
cheese. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
You should watch it because it's fantastic.
Papa. Five-O.
Do you? Yeah.
Papa.
You want to know what it's like to feel feelings as an adult watching a kids movie? Watch An American Tail. Holy crap!
That's generally why I don't watch kids' movies. They give you too much
Out
feels.
There.
That one will murder you while you sleep, and then while you're awake. Is
And then when you're dead.
it's not even a long movie, but it'll still get you.
Yeah.
And
Hit you right
so
in the
will the
feels.
sequel. 5 Goes
Five-O
West.
Goes West.
Yeah.
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 Anyways, keep going with your list, Craig, 'cause mine's over.
Well, I got Bye Bye Birdie on my list because that was mandatory viewing in elementary school.
Wait,
I've
you
only
watched Bye
seen
Bye
that-
Birdie in
I've only
elementary
seen that
school?
one scene
My-
because it was in Mad Men.
Yes.
That's the only reason I know what that is. I only know it's a movie or a musical because of that.
My elementary school music teacher was very much into the old musicals. I also watched The Music Man there.
Man, you watch Bye Bye
And-
Birdie
oh.
in music class.
Yeah.
I watched
grade
friggin' High School
5.
Musical in 7th grade
Yeah,
music.
we didn't.
And that was awful.
That would have been considered blasphemy by my music teacher.
Yeah, I consider it blasphemy. I would have much rather watched friggin' Bye Bye Birdie.
Okay, well, we did. We watched it, and we all hated it, but we watched it anyway.
Sounds about right.
What else have I got on here? I have written down that I've seen Chicago. We've already talked about my opinion on Chicago. I'm not going to pull that skeleton back out of the closet.
Good call. Good call.
Yeah, it's better. It's better in there. The Music Man, I got that on there too. We already talked about that though. I put Grease on there, but Scott talked about that. I don't remember it very well because it's been like 20 years.
Been a
since,
very long
like
time.
actually,
Promise me you won't watch it.
It might
Promise
actually
me you
be
won't watch
20
it again.
years since I've seen it.
Because we can say that.
Yeah,
That's possible.
Exactly.
It's
The
very
last time-
much one of those movies too that you're like, I know exactly what happened through the whole
Yep.
thing.
And I remember not really liking it, probably because I was like 6 or 7. And the last time I saw it, it was a 2-part, or no, there were 2 VHSs, so it was both movies. My mom had both of them, and I haven't even seen the film anywhere since then.
You better shape up, man.
But I've heard that song like a billion times since, because obviously it played on the adult pop station at work when I was at Canadian Tire.
It still plays.
Yeah. I put down Singing in the Rain. We already talked about that though. You guys took all of my good ones.
That's why you gotta go first next time.
I know,
You
it's
gotta
fine.
start the show off.
I still have. But I like to defer because I do a lot of talking off the top. You know,
That's fair.
I like to share the mic. It's not my show. It's our show.
Oh, so thoughtful.
I put The Wizard of Oz. Talked about that. That movie's friggin'
Yes.
terrifying. Friggin' terrifying. But it starts off in black and white and changes to color like geniuses. So that's cool with me.
Fantastic.
I have.
And then ends in black and white again.
It's so appropriate.
Yeah, it suits it very well.
Yeah, it's a good movie especially for the time.
It's a classic.
I have Oh Brother Where Art Thou. I didn't know that was a musical, but it's on the list, and I've seen
Oh
it,
my
and
God,
I
I
didn't
guess
remember
it
it was a
is.
friggin'
Yeah.
musical.
Okay, that's officially my tied for my favorite with
Yeah.
Blues Brothers because I fucking love that. Yeah, I didn't think
That
of
was
it
awesome,
as a
yeah.
musical. I don't think of it as a musical, but it 100% really is because
Yeah. Well, because he's a singer, right? Like he sings along the way.
well, and because like you also have that like scene with the ladies that like seduce them with the singing,
That's true.
and there's a couple of things. What's the
Man, that was such a weird movie. God bless the
so-
Coen brothers.
yeah.
It
I got
was
to get into more of their stuff, like because I like that and like
Hail Caesar,
Yeah,
so
we talked
good.
about that a couple weeks ago.
yeah,
So
and
good.
I've been meaning to watch that.
Oh yeah, if you like
Especially-
Brother Where Art Thou,
I
I
did.
feel like you'll like it.
I
yeah.
enjoyed Oh Brother Where Art Thou.
Man, the Coen brothers just have so many good movies. We could do a whole episode about that.
However, it did not occur to me until right now that it's based on the Odyssey, so that makes sense.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
That makes a lot
well,
of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the IMDb page, and the writer for the movie, one of the writers is Homer, and the other one's Ethan Cohen.
Okay. That makes sense.
Cool. I like
Yeah.
that they credit him in
They
it too.
Yeah.
credit
That
Homer
they-
for here's the framework.
Yeah.
Now we'll make it into a movie.
I
starring
did
George
it
Clooney.
all. You just got to put George Clooney's beautiful face.
Well, like adapting it to
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
'Cause
adapting it to the
from a Greek
Greek history,
yes.
mythology story.
Well, I wasn't sure. Is it a tragedy or a comedy technically? Because that's what everything is classified.
It's an
way back
epic.
when, right? It's an epic. That was the word I was like. Thank you, epic. Yes, that's the classification.
which is
I was
just
looking
a
for.
really long story. Well, actually, sorry,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a really long poem.
Yeah, exactly. I remember. I took it's epic. Those epics are what made me drop out of university. I kid you not.
Not worth it, man.
Not worth it. No, definitely was not worth it. Anyways, what's next on your list, Craig?
I've got Mary Poppins. I promised I'd talk about Mary Poppins.
About
penguins
penguins.
and tuxedos and horses that come
Yep.
off of carousels and
Yep.
chalk drawings and bankers and feeding pigeons, umbrellas, floor lamps that are in bags, spoons full of sugar,
I was hoping you'd go
and
there.
chimney
What
sweeps.
about medicine?
Well, that's
That goes down?
It's given, yeah, and the chimney sweeps.
Chimney sweeps.
Chimney
Yeah.
sweep.
Shout out to the chimney sweep
And
union.
I hope
Chimney.
Wait, we talked about this, didn't we? They're gonna make another one, and I already hate it.
It
Yeah,
comes
we
out
talked
December.
about this. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot.
It's out in
I
December,
forgot
yeah.
until right now.
Damn
It's Emily. I think it's Emily Blunt, right? Is it Emily Blunt?
Yeah.
I don't
Somebody
care.
bought
I'm never
that.
going to watch it. I was
I
just
know
about
you're
to
not.
say they better not make another one, and then I remembered that we already had this
It's
discussion.
really funny
Yeah.
though. Like everyone keeps saying it's gonna be like the biggest movie this Christmas, and I'm like, I don't know about that. I'm not gonna see it.
Nope. I will watch the original like 6 times just in protest.
The only way I'll see it is if I get dragged, but I don't want to get dragged at all. I would rather see 7 more remakes of Peter Pan.
Sit in the,
It's out around the same time. I'll go see that.
sit in
That
the
doesn't
back of the
count.
movie theater with your laptop and watch the original at the same time.
like when the Griffin family goes to the movies and they got their popcorn from home, their drinks from home,
Movies from home.
movies from home.
Yep. Exactly. Just do it like that. That way your money's going towards it, so you're encouraging the
Tech-
bastards, but
Also, you don't want to hate everything about life.
Yep.
I feel it.
Yep.
Is that the end of your list?
So
Craig, or you
I've got
more?
technically one more.
Okay.
I made a promise about a second one, so I'm going to do 2 more. Sound of
Okay.
Music. That's on my list. That is
Absolutely.
a long-ass movie.
It literally has music and the sound of
Yes.
right in the title.
The Hills.
How long it is exactly why I
They-
can't watch it.
The Hills are alive with the sound of me not wanting to listen to Maria. But the songs are so catchy.
Yeah. Bonjour.
I know. That one and I Am 16 going on 17. Oh my god, now it's going to be stuck in my head.
Is
Honestly-
just
Problem
only
this
think
whole
of the
episode.
Lois Griffin version. I am going on.
See, I hate the scene, but I love the song. So that, yeah, it's a bad.
Fellas will fall in line.
It's 2 hours and 52 minutes.
Holy balls!
Yep.
That is a long musical.
Yeah, I'll
It
never
is.
watch that ever.
I watched it. They did a live production a couple years ago. I think it was Carrie Underwood.
But was she actually
Underwood. No, it was
credited
Underwood.
for doing it?
Carrie Underwood, who did it live on TV, and I watched like 3/4 of it, and I was like, "It is a school night. I am going to bed."
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd feel like that anytime I try to start that. I'm like, I don't have time.
I don't have time for this.
It's got 4 hours for a movie. Like,
The
yeah, I'll
only-
binge watch 7 hours of TV, but
Yeah, but that's not the
4
same.
hours of one movie.
One movie. Come on,
It's,
son.
yeah, the only time I've ever watched it is when my mom's been like, "Hey, let's watch Sound of Music," and that's because it's her favorite movie.
And you're
So
like, "Yes, Mom."
I'm like,
What a
okay,
fool.
I guess we're gonna watch Julie Andrews spin around in a field and then not be a nun. This will be fun.
I just look at all that things.
Sounds like Craig's life.
Ouch.
And
The
hit
last,
us with- hit
the
us
last
with
one. I
that
was
last
gonna-
one.
Yeah. I already said it. It's gonna be Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Okay. Yeah. No. I need a little bit more on this one. I
There's-
remember.
It starts off with a song, man.
It bends the rules for me, in that I will accept it as a musical because it has "So Long and Thanks for All the Fish."
Is that
So
the only
long
song,
and
though?
thanks for all the fish.
It's the catchiest song.
So sad it had to come to this.
But that's the only one, right? I'm just making sure. I'm asking because I can't remember because I haven't
I'm
seen this in
looking
a while.
it up.
I think
Okay.
that's the only one.
Because
God, that's such a good movie.
I
It is a
forgot
great
Stephen
movie.
Fry was the narrator for that.
Is he?
Yeah,
Oh man,
and Martin Freeman's in it.
Yeah, he's
he is. He's the main guy.
I know.
and so is.
Is Sam
Zoe
Rockwell in it?
Deschanel.
Yeah, he's the captain, I believe.
Yeah, he is. He's a captain with 2 faces.
Unless it's someone that looks exactly like Sam.
Exactly
Rockwell.
like Sam Rockwell.
2 Sam Rockwells.
Oh my god.
I'm looking. He's not on the first page.
Oh my goodness.
Well, he
Who
would
is
be
it
because he
then?
would have been the captain. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe he is somebody else. Like I said, it's been a decade since I've
He-
watched it.
Yeah,
Man,
it's Sam
like,
Rockwell.
in my mind, it's Sam
it is.
Rockwell.
It's Sam Rockwell.
Okay. Thank goodness.
Let's see what IMDb has it listed as for genres. I'm going to defer to IMDb to decide on this one. Adventure, comedy, sci-fi. I'm adding musical. I'm going to send them a message.
Musical. Edit the Wikipedia page.
It's a musical now because So Long and Thanks for All the Fish will be stuck in everyone's head forever.
That was the name of my going away party when I moved. that you didn't come to. Neither of you came to, you bastards.
I can't remember why I didn't come. Why didn't I come?
You went over to Darien motherfucking Lake like you always do.
I was busy.
You were at a Journey concert.
I was going to say, I was probably going to see Journey or Def Leppard.
You were at a Journey concert.
There's a statistical probability of me being at a Def Leppard concert at Darien Lake in the summer at some point.
I
Fair
live
enough.
6 hours away.
No excuses.
So that's my list.
Okay.
So I think that takes us to the end of that.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah.
Well, then Craig, continue.
What I
excuse me.
watched this week.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah, that's what that was. It wasn't a
That's
yawn.
what I was trying to
You
say. It
definitely
wasn't a yawn.
said, what did
Yeah.
you watch this week?
yeah.
I
Well,
was speaking language from
Don't.
Hitchhiker's Guide.
the whales. Well, something criminal happened this weekend. I
Oh goodness.
finished.
Is this what I think it
I
is?
finished Toast of London without
Oh,
even
my goodness,
realizing
me-
I was done it.
Me too.
Ah,
Because the
happened.
third season only has 6 episodes.
oh, it was so short.
That's the worst.
I was like, I'm
sneaks
gonna
up on
watch
you.
this episode, then I'm gonna go do something, and then I went back to watch it again, and it wasn't in my continue watching. I was like, did they take it off? They didn't take it off. I will riot if they take it off. And I looked it up, and it was gone, and I was like, wait.
Because that show will be watched multitudinous amounts of time.
Does that
because
mean
it's so
that's-
good.
It's basically a musical.
It is.
So-
It has songs at the end of
It's a
every episode.
Strange
And-
theater performance.
And the actor who plays Stephen Toast sings the theme song, and it is catchy as shit.
It's a fantastic show, and I'm so sad that it was finished.
I know.
It's absolutely criminal.
It is. Like,
But-
it was like, oh, it was just so good.
But then I was like, all right, well, I got nothing else to watch. Let's watch this new show called Final Space. That
I did the
can't-
same thing.
which is friggin' terrifying. Scott, this time, like normally we talk about what we're watching, and then we'll switch and actually go watch the same thing.
we'll talk about it, but this time it was just we did
Andrew
it.
will make a reference, and I'll be like, I haven't watched that in a while, and I'll be watching it, and then we'll talk about how we both watched it. But this time it actually happened. Like it had already happened before we talked about it. It
Yeah.
is-
That's crazy.
It has become terrifying. So yes, I couldn't decide whether I wanted to watch Final Space because it didn't look like a show that I would enjoy. I don't know what it was about it. Maybe you can understand what I'm going to say, Andrew, but it looked like it was juvenile.
It looked like a kid's show, and then
Yeah.
as I started watching it, I don't know what it was. It was something about the main character the way he spoke.
Yeah.
It just sucked me in. Just the way he talks like this sometimes. Oh, butt munch. Like it was
Yeah.
so weird, and it just sucked me in.
I still think it's a little bit on the juvenile side, but it's definitely
Oh,
not
yeah.
like it's definitely not like a kids show. Well, it is rated.
No, like they don't swear at all.
Nope.
But they do have a lot of gratuitous violence.
And so much blood and sexual
So much
innuendo.
squirting.
There's blood everywhere. At one point, he's bleeding from his eyes.
That's true. Or he just has his arm ripped off.
That's so early too. Yeah, it's a fantastic show with Fred Armisen and David Tennant, who I love as a
Yes.
human being. And it took me a while to figure out who he was because he doesn't
That's
sound
got
like
me a little
David
more
Tennant.
interested.
Until you know it's David Tennant, then you start listening to him and you're like, yeah, I could see that.
I could see
That's definitely David Tennant. Same with Fred Armisen too. That him
Yeah,
playing
you can
Kevin
only hear his voice.
was
That's the
like, I don't know, and then I looked it up and I was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
That's Kevin.
That's
100%
got to be
Kevin.
Kevin's the best.
But no, that was a weird one though. Just I said I finished. Craig texted me saying he finished watching Toast of London. I was like, yeah, I finished it earlier, and then I moved on to Final Space, and he's like, holy shit, this is getting creepy. I just did the exact same thing, and it was one of those what?
Yes. So
Just earth-shattering moments.
Final Space is good. I recommend it. It's entertaining.
So moving on, I will
It's
take
got
over
a
then.
Weird. It's got like a weird sentimental thing to it too. Like,
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
like how they start every episode with Gary in space and he's gonna die.
He's gonna die,
Yeah,
so he's just talking
he's talking to
Hugh. Which is a great name for an autonomous
well, it's
voice.
almost as good as Hal.
Yeah. Hugh is way better though. I like Hugh. And Kevin, which is just KVN.
Yeah. He was at least a friendly guy, even though he's a prison ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a correctional officer, really.
Exactly. And
especially the cookie thing.
He will not
like
let you have cookies, but Kevin can have cookies, even though all Kevin does is smash it against his face.
Into his vocal processor. I want a cookie. Was it the first episode or the second episode? He gets it right at the end.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, yes, because I'm the captain, and he just shuts it on his hand.
Yep. Yeah, and then Kevin eats the cookie. Or
yeah, Kevin steals the cookie.
Smashes the cookie.
And he chases him down the street or down the hallway.
Yeah. And the last thing on my list for this week is I watched Bone Cop Bad Cop 2.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Again, didn't you watch that in theaters?
No, I didn't go see it.
Oh.
I had never seen it. But I had seen the first one a couple times. And
thank you, Raymond Rodriguez.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Bone Cop Bad Cop is on Netflix too.
The Flicks.
Yes, it is. The Flicks. Not to be confused with The Affliction. It is not.
No.
Sort of.
It is not an affliction.
Sort of. Yeah, it's a good movie. It's entertaining. It's fun watching somebody who doesn't understand French watch the movie and then have it explained to them. Because some parts are, like, even though there's subtitles, like, there were subtitles with the movie, some parts are poorly translated. I don't know how they managed to do that. It's a Canadian movie. Backed by the Quebec government, like all the other movies.
Like every movie ever?
Every movie ever made was either made with the support of the Quebec government or the Australian government.
Or Georgia.
Right, the Georgia Peaches. It's most
looking at you, Ant-Man and the
Wasp. I was going to say that's most Marvel
looking
movies.
Looking at you.
Marvel movies are shot in Georgia.
Georgia and Quebec.
Yep. Why not? Why not?
Get that Quebec tax credit.
Yeah. The government's giving away money left, right, and center. If you're not taking it, you're not a true movie studio. Really. Come on.
That's fair.
And if you're an art house filmmaker, then you get your money from Canal Plus, which is French. But that's all that's on my list. Which one of you two wants to continue with this episode?
I will take over. This week, I watched and finished a travesty known as Toast of London, as we discussed, and then moved on to Final Space, as we discussed. And I also watched The Equalizer.
The first one?
The first one, and the second one.
Oh, okay, so you went and saw it in theaters then, eh?
I went and saw it in theaters.
That explains why I've heard of that this week.
Okay. The Equalizer 2, I went to see that actually before I watched The Equalizer. I've seen The Equalizer, it's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
But Kendall and I decided, you know what, let's go to the movies. I want to see The Equalizer Dose. So I went to see it, and it was so fucking good. I've been a little more conservative with that word this episode. It is out there on the table now. It's so fucking good, guys. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen the first one at all.
Not yet.
But it's just unbelievable. And watching that one and then going back and watching the first one again for like the 10th time, there was a few things I missed from watching it the first time in the first one. Like, spoilers, one of his things is like he kills, like Denzel Washington murders so many people.
Yeah, I got that.
But he never uses a gun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like there's like one guy he shoots, but the rest like of his like main actual battles, like at the end, the climax of each movie, like when he's taking down like the top group, he doesn't use a single gun to do it. He only uses tools and shit around him, and it's so awesome. Like in the first Equalizer movie, like he's hiding in a warehouse, like the warehouse of like a Home Depot type store, and like there's these Russian mob guys who are like coming in to like assassinate him, and one guy like backs around the corner, and then a drill taps him in the back of the head, and Denzel's like zzz, just in the back of the head. He's like, oh shit! There's another one where he just stabs a guy right through the neck with a like the arburator saw. Like the tree saw.
Yeah.
And he just stabs him through the neck and then just pulls it out and cuts his friggin' spinal cord. Just done. Like, oh my god. He's got this just dead deadpan face.
Oh
about
yeah,
it.
I know the Denzel
Yeah,
look. Yeah,
like and then another one of these guys gets hung by like barbed wire. Like he makes a barbed wire noose
yeah. Oh damn.
that's attached to something heavy, and he hangs the guy, and the guy's like holding on, like dying, just like trying to like reach on and grab Denzel to like hurt him, and Denzel's just no emotion
being
about
the
it. And,
equalizer.
just being the equalizer, and like his whole thing is like he used to do it being like an assassin for the government, you know,
Yeah.
for a living in the military, but then he gets out. He doesn't do it anymore for whatever reason. You'll find out if you actually watch the movie. But
See if
he
it's on
gets
Netflix.
out. Yeah, he gets out. It is on Netflix. He gets out. He goes on with his life, and he won't do it anymore. But he only like kills like if it's absolutely necessary, and he fights it. But he's like, oh, okay, you know what? These people need my help, and he does it for like good reasons. Like
cool.
he helps the people who no one else is helping, and it's just they're just so good. They're some of my favorite movies.
Oh, I'll definitely check out the first one then.
Absolutely, like do it.
The second one once it comes out.
Yes, worth it. Like I was so pumped, so pumped.
That's good. Did you watch anything else this week?
Oh, not this week, no.
No, so it's on to me then.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Scott. What'd you watch this
Okay,
week?
well, I didn't get to much this week, but there was a lot at Comic-Con, and I watched a lot of trailers. So yeah, I watched the Titans, the Young Justice, the Clone Wars, the Iron Fist, the Star Trek, the Glass, the Aquaman, and the Shazam. All those
All
trailers.
the big ones.
Yeah.
You did reaction videos for all of them too.
Well,
Go check them
yeah,
out.
Most of those ones I did reaction videos for too, except for Iron Fist, just because it was like 30 seconds. They just
'cause
announced
you're
the
like,
date. Well, no, it looked pretty good actually. The fighting looks better, and I liked.
Did they go with like the Danny Rand from the second season of Luke Cage?
Yeah, I
Like
think
where
it's a
they
little bit
fix
more-
him?
Well, like
Okay,
I said, it's only like 30 seconds, so you only see like a
Okay.
flash of him like doing a little bit of fighting in like a warehouse, and then
Okay.
they announce like the date. It was just a date announcement. It wasn't really a trailer. But yeah, it just looks a little bit like the fighting is what they got a little bit more down pat. They've actually given him time to learn a little bit of the moves and
Okay.
stuff, and
Not super lame slappy motions.
exactly, yeah, it looks a little bit better
Okay.
just from that little clip. Like I said, it wasn't very long, but yeah, they all look good. I made, like I said, a bunch of reaction videos. I'm excited for a bunch of these. Most of them didn't disappoint me at all, really. The ones that, well, I didn't watch any ones that might have disappointed me, to be honest. I'm just biased like that. Why would I watch something that's going to disappoint me?
That's fair. Godzilla looked boss.
Godzilla
Shazam
looked great. Yeah, that was one of the ones I forgot
boss.
to write down. Yeah. Shazam. I'm really excited for the Shazam too. Like I like that they went.
We talked about it briefly. Like it's
exactly.
We're
Yeah, it
excited, but also like I'm not like fully in on it yet. Like
Yeah,
I'm
no.
obviously gonna go see it, but like I'm skeptical. But
Yeah.
I do feel like there's a chance they might use it as like a reset button on the DC universe.
I hope so. I hope that's
Like,
the reset as opposed to like them actually doing
Aquaman.
legit Flashpoint. Like I hope they
Yeah.
kind of use him.
Flashpoint would seem like a cop out to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking
Like-
too. Like it's just like that's way too much of
Especially
like a.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
especially if there is a chance Ben Affleck's out. Like he's still not out yet. Like
Yeah.
there's just talks of him being out. Which truthfully I kind of hope is just they're using that to like just keep people talking about the DC.
I kind of think that's
EU.
it too. Like I think it's a little bit of that. Yeah.
Like because if he's out, like there's no way to just replace him. You can't just you're too far involved. It's not like going from having individual movies. And then you have the Incredible Hulk, and all of a sudden you just swap it out. You know, you
Yeah,
swap
he's-
out
yeah, it's not the
Edward
same,
Norton
yeah.
for beautiful
Mark
whatever his
Ruffalo.
name is, Mark Ruffalo. Like you can't just do that swap quick at this point. Like
Yeah,
you've already
no.
had a couple movies of Batman. Like it's him or
Yeah,
nothing.
he's had multiple appearances. He's pretty much
Yeah.
appeared in all the movies except for like Man of Steel, because he was in Suicide Squad for a few seconds.
yeah. Man of Steel and Wonder Woman are the only ones he's not in.
Well, he sent a note in Wonder Woman, so his presence was there.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so I just watched all those trailers, and then I watched Wonder Woman and Justice League because I got those on DVD and Blu-ray. So I watched both of
And
those,
you're
and they're both
super
still
pumped.
great. I enjoyed
So
them both.
good. And if you think Justice League sucks, you can suck a big old bag of turds.
There was
I
one
said
thing I was curious about, like your thoughts on, which is, why do you think they didn't decide to like fix the CGI for the DVD release? Like, do you think
I
it
feel
was
like they were
too
just
much?
lazy, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I feel like it was
wasn't
just one of
sure
those
if it
things.
was- yeah.
It was probably one of those things they figured, okay, you know what? The CGI mustache is blown over. No one's talking about it anymore. If we do go and fix it for the DVD Blu-ray release,
Yeah, it makes
people are going to talk about it again, and they're going to be
That's
like,
fair.
well, if they could do it for the DVD and Blu-ray, why didn't they do it for the... Shut the fuck up, okay? Just watch the goddamn movie. I said
fair.
it.
That's fair. That's a fair point. I was just curious what your thoughts were on that. But that's all I watched this week, which I guess brings us to the end of this episode then, guys.
That would be
Well, I
it.
just want to say one thing before we go.
Yeah, take it away.
So long, and thanks for all the
I
fish.
knew you were going to go there. I knew it. Bye.
They're out of my head.
Bye.